People ask me sometimes to play a love song. And this is a love song for a friend, though. It's just about it's just about one of those moments where a friend of yours does something and you're like, you're so freaking cool. Like, you keep it so real sometimes. And so I've been on tour. I hate when musicians like tell tour stories, but this one's just kind of humorous. But you know, I heard an interview the other day on the radio with this singer, and all they were talking about was performing, and I was like, that's so boring. Why would you want to just hear about that over and over again? Oh yeah, what was the concert like in Paris? Just like the one in London, except a different audience, most likely. Maybe something else cool happened, but... And that's fine occasionally. I'm not trying to hate, but like, you know, I like to hear musicians say a little more. But we were driving from Brussels, I think, to Paris, and it took like 8 hours or something, and it's only like a 2-hour drive. And we were driving through like farms and fields, and I was like, well, this is kind of like where World War I happened. So I was having a little tourist moment. It's a weird thing to be a tourist about, isn't it? I wonder if there's still unexploded bombs here. Probably. Yeah, most likely. You know, at the outbreak of World War I, the Tsar, the Kaiser, and the King of England were cousins. Just sit with that for a bit. Yeah, they're all related. They all hung out. They hung out the year before. There's pictures of them on the yacht together. Kaiser Wilhelm's yacht. That's a war for you. Anyways, it took a long-ass time. We were 3.5 hours late for our show in Paris. It was at this squatted pharmaceutical factory. It was very strange. It's weird to show up to a squatted pharmaceutical factory that late, because people have already drank a bunch of wine. Most people have gone to bed. It's only like the real hardcore winos that are left. And maybe like the one kid who came because he loves your music. You know? And you're like, this is the life. This is what I do. And I was just like, I just want to go to bed. I do not want to play a show tonight. I'm in such a bad mood. I hate being late. I hate missing a show. I rarely do that. And I take it personally. Feel like a failure. And so we get there, and I was with my friend Shireen, who's a folk singer from the Netherlands, and she plays the ukulele and sings like radical folk songs like I do. And we doing an album together now. But we got there, and I was like, Shireen, I can't do it. I can't perform. I'm way too pissed off. And she was like, well, I'll perform and then see how you feel. And then she performed and just like changed the whole night. Like I felt great by the end of her performance. I was like, I can't wait to sing. You know, Shireen just like lit the room up with these heartfelt songs and just like the banter and everything just like coalesced. And I was just like, thank you. You're so awesome. Everyone was like completely just, it didn't matter that there was only 10 people left and everyone was drunk. They were like in it. Maybe everyone was drunk and I was hallucinating, but so I wrote this song for my friend. It's about kind of how music and people can do that. You know? I've only performed this like twice live, everyone. I was watching you singing from the back of the room in the squatted factory outside the city. You shook the world with your ukulele. I was moved by your movements, the way you swayed back and forth with your shy smile and your keen senses, your sincere words. and knowing what they're for. And I was moved by your melodies and by the echoes of your words. Well, hope arises from fear and pain. We can help transform them with the songs we sing. And I was watching you singing from the back of the room, in the squatted factory outside the city. You shook the world with your ukulele. Thanks, y'all. I'll just do 2 more songs, and then I'll do a sad one, then a happy one. And then I'll have knocked out my whole list. Thank you for staying for all of it. This is a heavy one. I wrote 2 songs about this person. This is one of them. The other one is more of a ballad, and I recorded it a few months ago, and it's getting released this weekend, a week from today, on this three record album that our friends put together as a tribute to a friend of ours named Jacob David George, who was a member of the group Iraq Veterans Against the War and was an Afghan war veteran, 3 tours, anti-war activist, bike enthusiast, folk singer, farmer, amazing dude, and one of the many, many veterans who've taken their own lives. And he was a very close friend of ours, and it was very, very shocking to hear. But I've lost a lot of friends in my life, and somehow whenever I write a song about a dead friend, I always find a way to make it a hopeful ending, like most of my songs. And it's a similar theme with this one. It's like, yeah, it really sucks. I know. It always sucks. It never doesn't suck. It doesn't get easier. Everyone's a different person, but you carry the person with you. I carry Jacob right here. This was the cover of his album, you know. My babysitter was killed in Iraq. I carry him right here. And you carry them not just in a tattoo or something, but in their mentality. You are reminded of that person somewhere, or you do something like they would have done, or you think like they would have thought. You think in a moment, you say, how would Jacob have responded to the situation? You pull the traits from them that made you love them that much more, and you try to carry them and put them into your personality and give that to other people. And that's why I appreciate this way of looking at death, that there's like the living, the dead, and the living dead. And the living dead are people who died, but there's still people that knew them who are alive. You're not dead until they all die, because they remember you, and they still carry part of your soul, if you want to call it that, in the world. So this is kind of a song about that. It's called Ain't It Hard. And it's hard, ain't it hard, when a friend goes away, and it pulls on your heart in the most pressing way. And I know what it feels like, 'cause I too lost someone. And you learn how to cry and to lean upon your friends. And you learn that death is something you'll never understand. And I know what it feels like, 'cause I too lost someone. And it's hard, ain't it hard, when a friend goes away, and it pulls on your heart in the most pressing way. And I know what it feels like, 'cause I too have lost someone. But life moves forward on you every single day, and you learn to hold their memory in meaningful ways. And I know what it feels like, 'cause I too lost someone. Thanks, y'all. All right. Jacob David George. He has an album called Soldier's Heart that you can find on the internet. Amazing songs on there. He he sat down with a good friend of his who's a songwriter and told him a bunch of his stories from Afghanistan and from his travels against the war, riding his bike across the country, and then together they wrote these really brilliant songs from it. So on that note, this is a song about it's kind of about burnout. It's kind of about we have this, and it's not just us. Like in the U.S., I think it's a lot of people in the world have this problem of, you look at, some people only look at the big picture, and they don't know how the world actually works because they're only looking at everything at once, right? It's like looking at a car and being like, I know how it works. It rolls. That makes sense. And then there's the people who only focus on the very small thing. They're only involved in this one organization. They do this one thing, and that's what they do. And that's fine. It's needed. But both of those have shortcomings in them. And that the person doing the small work, it's very easy to think that no one else in the world is doing anything about any problems. That you're alone. You're the only person doing it, or that it's endless. And the person only looking at the bigger thing, obviously, their philosophy about how change works might not be that accurate if they're not having one-on-one conversations with real people. It's like, why don't those workers go on strike? You ever try to organize? That's why. So, anyways, I picked out 3 stories from friends of mine: a musician, a photojournalist, and a journalist. And those are all these three kind of characters that do really hard things, sometimes risking their lives, sometimes long travels for no money or unconfirmed money, like maybe we'll pay you, we don't know yet. Maybe if you go to Iraq for 6 months and write a really good story, we'll pay you for it. Maybe not. We don't know. We'll have to see when it happens. And so 3 of my friends ended up in prison in Iran. They were like the hikers, who got arrested in Kurdistan. And one of the verses is kind of about my friend Shane, who's a photojournalist who was in Iraq, unembedded because he's fluent in Arabic, radical activist guy, just went there. Could have gotten killed easily. But it's called What We Can, and it's really about this idea that, like, look, like, we have to find a way to appreciate what we're able to do, to push ourselves to do more, but not freak out when we can't do everything, and not be upset. Like, I'm a skateboarder, right? Like, when you're skating, you know that you can't, like, do a 360 flip onto that table until you learn how to ollie that high. It's not going to happen. Good luck. And you can't really do a 360 flip till you learn how to do a kick flip and a shove it. You kind of got to, like, there's an order. And you don't hate on yourself. And something I love about skateboarding, the philosophy of it, is if you go to a skate park, and I used to be good at skating, I'm not anymore, but the kids know that. The kids are like, oh, that 32-year-old dude used to be good, because he looks like he used to be able to do that, but he can't anymore. But we'll give him props for it, it's cool. But you go to the skate park, and some dude's like riding on the wall, and some dude's like doing some crazy stuff, and you're just trying to do some stuff that you could do when you were a teenager that doesn't look that hard. But everyone's aware of what everybody's doing in the skate park. You take turns. You know, you're watching, this kid's trying to learn a 50-50. Okay, cool. You know, this dude's like doing a backflip. That's crazy. And everyone's trying to do their trick. And then when someone lands their trick, everyone hits their skateboard on the ground and shows them love for it. Even if it's something everyone can do. Everyone's just like, hey, you did it. You achieved the thing that you couldn't do. That's awesome, you know? And that's what the song is about. It's about giving ourselves props for the things that we weren't able to do before that we're doing, and not thinking, you know, it's just called Do What We Can. Thank you all for coming and staying. I have some CDs on the table. I have some posters and t-shirts from my new album. However, I don't have my new album. Whatever. Embrace the paradox, you know? But the posters are cool. But I do have a new tape over there that I released in Macedonia with this Macedonian leftist folk singer friend of mine, Marco Greyhound. And there's a 7-inch record I just put out, a split with this band called The Wild, and it's them and doing an acoustic set. You traveled 7,000 miles with a backpack and guitar on crowded old buses in the scorching summer sun. For the passion of the politics and the people you perform. For crowds of 13 people on a dusty basement floor. And I love that about you. You traveled 7,000 miles with a backpack and guitar, and gave it 100% no matter where you were. Yeah, this is what we do, my friend. Yeah, this is who we are. We will reach only those we can reach, but we will reach them. You traveled 7,000 miles with a camera in your hand, knowing not if you'd return home to see your friends again. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. With a camera in your hand, okay, I got it. You traveled 7,000 miles with a camera in your hand to disrupt the scripted narratives and camouflage commands, to expose injustice, to expose the lies we're fed. You captured on a memory card what was pacing through your head, and I love that about you. You traveled 7,000 miles with a camera in your hand, knowing not if you'd return home to see your friends again. Yeah, and this is what we do, my friend, we do the things we can. We will reach only those we can reach, but we will reach them. We will reach only those we can reach, but we will reach them. You traveled 7,000 miles unembedded and unconfined, with a notebook and a microphone and questions in your mind. You came to write the stories that opened up our eyes to truths about this planet that the papers tried to hide, and I love that about you. You traveled 7,000 miles unembedded and unconfined to write posts for a free blog for anyone to find. Yeah, and this is what we do. We can only reach so high. We will reach only those we can reach, but we will reach them. We will reach only those we can reach, but we will reach them. Woo! Thanks, all. That's the show. And Susan, thank you for setting this up, and from everyone from the Squirrel for putting it on. And yeah.